Welcome to Little Shorts with Mandy. It's great to have you here. Thanks for joining
How
me.
are you? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah,
It's good to be
good to
on.
meet
Thank you
you.
for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so Anthony, you have a new single, 29 days, 28 days? I knew I'd mess it
29.
up, but
It's
29
29.
days.
It's
Uh,
29. Right.
right, and that's kind of getting some real success and a lot of views. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, the story is it's kind of an interesting but strange one.
Hmm.
The way the whole single came about was I involved myself in it was a music sort of a contest where you can send in a song, and they had people who basically look at your song and grade it and all of this. So I got back a really good grade on my song, and I had seen that if you won the contest, then you'd meet Michael Hansen and you'd get your song produced with Mike. Um,
Hmm.
so I said, okay, why not? I was doing a lot. I've done a lot, but let's do this, right? So, and then once they managed to actually go over your songs and give you the
Hmm.
grade, which was a good one. Then they'll pick their top five, I believe it was. So I did not get the top five, right? But I felt my song was very strong, right? So
Okay.
in true fashion, with my I take risks all the time, I called up Mike
Oh,
and I just
nice.
left him a
Okay.
message and I said, Mike, you don't know who I am, but this is Anthony Tullo. I just like to say that I should have been top five. I mean, listen to this tune. I mean, how can this not be top five? And I thought he's not
Right.
going to call me back. He's probably going to, you know, blow me off. But he
Hmm.
did. He called me back
Nice.
and he said, give me a call, Anthony. I want to talk to you. And I thought, okay. So I called him back and I said, is this Michael Hansen? And he said, yes. And they said, Anthony, pleasure. I said, well, my pleasure's mine. I was a big fan of Glass Tiger. Um,
Hmm.
and and I was a big fan of your band, and it's nice to be talking to you. And he said to me, you know what, Anthony? He had said at the time, I'd like to reproduce this song with you, and I want you to know that I don't make final decisions on the songs. They just come to me and say, this is the winner, produce it, right? And I'm involved because of my name and who I am. And I said, sure, I understand. But he said to me, look, to be honest with you, I may have put you beyond the top five because I may put you as the winner. And that's when I asked and I said, well, thank you so much. And Mike is very private. He's a beautiful guy, actually, a great, great guy. Obviously, extremely talented, has done very well for himself.
Hmm.
And so I asked if I could go meet him. So anyway, I said, okay, I've got this song, and at the time it was not called 29 Days, and I had the chorus. So, but I really felt strongly about it. So I played him the chorus. Said, well, it's on my phone. Here it is. And he said,
Hmm.
we're not going to do a photograph. We're going to do that. That's the song I want to do. He said, you wrote.
Okay.
So we got on like fast friends. And from that point, he produced the song and I asked him, would he write it with me? And he said, yes. And
Hmm.
he came back with a great verse combined with my chorus. And he loved it. He said, I think this is a hit,
Nice.
Anthony. And I said, you
Yeah.
think it's a hit? He goes, yes. So
Yeah.
that's how
Nice.
29
And there
Days
you
came
have it.
about. And there you have it.
That's
Yeah.
a great
Um,
story. And so tell us about some of the success that it's experiencing now.
well, what happened after once we created and Michael produced the 29 Days and he collaborated, uh, I just suddenly realized he had a record label. So, and I asked him, I said, you've got a record label? And he goes, yeah, I do. It's a boutique label and it's called Radar Love Records. And I looked into it and it looked fantastic. And I thought, man, wouldn't it be great to be signed by this guy, And so we became like fast friends. To use his words, fast friends. And I said, Mike, I'm a picky guy, but I'd like to be represented by a record label. And he said to me, you check all the boxes, Anthony. And
Hmm.
then he took me to meet his team. And that's when I met Chan Camp, who is just a huge force behind the entire label.
Yeah.
Really nice guy. And they decided they wanted to sign me. So
Nice.
in signing me, we got working, and huge credit to Chan, who's worked diligently behind the scenes. When it's, even though Michael Hansen he's a Hall of Famer, and with the Glass Tiger, 4-time Juno winner. I mean, you name it. He's been all over. So we worked
For sure.
together, and but I did not expect over 800,000 views in 3 months. I mean, that's
Right.
outstanding.
And so tell us a little bit about if someone is new to your music, how would you describe your sound to them?
Oh, well, in 2018, I was nominated top 5 male artist of the year, along with Tim Hicks and Jason Blaine. And the problem was that I'm not really, my sound would be Southern rock,
Okay.
Springsteen, a little bit of Adams with Dallas Smith and a little bit of that country flavor. But
Hmm.
I don't have the twang when I sing. I'm not fully engaged in that country. You'd hear more rock with me before you'd hear the country. My first album was much more country. So that was the issue there. And I thought, okay, so my sound would be Southern Americana rock with country
Hmm.
flavor to it,
Okay.
slash, that would be my sound.
And
So,
is it important to fit into a genre? So you're talking a little about you weren't quite country, you're not quite rock. Is it important to fit into one category? Or is it just like you're saying you're a mixture of like, so how important is that?
well, one would say it's not important. It's just your music's your
Hmm.
music. But you wouldn't think
Right.
so when you hear the radio stations, because,
Right. Right.
somebody may say, well, the music's your music. Right. But then, if you listen to the country stations, they're very similar,
Hmm.
uh, you know,
You mentioned a little bit about Springsteen, Bryan Adams, those kinds of things. Are those some of your primary influences, or like who were you listening to growing up to get you interested or started on your musical journey?
that's a great question. And my biggest inspiration is Bryan Adams. There's no question about it. I was a kid. I remember hearing Cuts Like a Knife, and I
Mm,
stopped and I went, who's that?
mm,
Who is that? Song just hit me like, and I thought, let me look this guy up. And everything he sang straight from the heart, it was I was just going, that's what I want to sound like.
right.
That's my style.
Anthony, tell
Fantastic.
us a little bit about your songwriting process. You said that you collaborated on this new one with someone. Is that your usual process, or do you typically write solo? Are you inspired by sounds, lyrics? Is it like tell us about that creative process?
I typically write by myself. I have rarely written with anybody else. Sorry, I did. I did write lyrically. I have written with others that have stepped in lyrically, but
Hmm.
generally I'll play something, and if it if the melody if a melody comes to me while I'm playing my instrument, I'll start singing and recording and see what grabs me, what doesn't grab me. I would say my biggest strength is my melody lines. They just come to me. I can't explain it, as Mike said too. You can't explain that, or it's through osmosis. You're playing and these melody lines come, and they happen to just be strong melody lines, and you're thinking, okay, well, you know what? There's something here. So generally,
Right.
from there, I think of a theme and what lyrics could I fit in here that would work. And I would say that my melody lines are my strength with what I play. Lyrically, I'm strong, but I do at times you run into a bit of a brick wall lyrically and think
Mm,
it would be nice
sure.
to. So um,
Yeah, a little bit of
that's
writer's
usually
block, I guess.
a writer's block. Yeah, with
Yeah.
lyrics, you're sort of you want to say something, but you want to make sure it's said. Uh, it's got a certain vibe. It sounds pro. And
Right.
I'm pretty good at that, but sometimes it's nice to get a little help there. You know, you,
Mm,
you know your strengths and your weaknesses. You don't want to.
hmm.
But it generally, like first album was done in Nashville, Tennessee, County Q, amazing studio with Paul Skolton and the boys there who work with everybody in Nashville, and Paul was
Mm.
fantastic. And the second album, Rebel, was done here in Toronto, and the third album, I had gone to Poland to play the amphitheater in Poland.
Oh,
I
nice.
was asked to go there, and I was it. third one was produced by a guy in Poland, and we were going back and forth, which was kind of crazy. And
Mm,
yeah, so now I'm working with Michael, and I've got a few songs. So that's my process of writing, anyhow. That's how usually I
right.
do it.
So, what have you got coming up before we let you off the hook here? Tell us about what's coming up for you in 2026 in terms of new music or shows or anything like that.
Well, I just finished performing at the uh, Burlington Performing Arts Center in Burlington, which is gorgeous, a gorgeous venue.
Hmm.
So
Is
almost
it?
sold out there, and it was a tremendous show. So we've already talked about next year, 2026 already.
Okay.
So they're in touch with me. I just got booked in Meaford at the Meaford Hall, which is over a 300 seater there. And I'm
Nice.
going to be doing the 29 days concert there, and that's in May of 2026. Prior to that, I think the label's going to set up a tremendous VIP show where we're going to have a lot of industry people there. We
Cool.
may be talking the first quarter of next year, and we're going to see over 1 million on the video and talk to radio.
Yeah.
So uh, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming in on the first quarter of 2026, and it's going to
No
be an
doubt. It
exciting year.
sounds busy, busy.
Yeah, yeah.
Anthony, tell us where we can go to find out more information about you and follow along with your music and your journey.
Well, okay, they can find me definitely at www.anthonytullo music.com. It's all
Hmm.
together. And they can definitely check out 29 Days on YouTube, just Anthony Tullo 29 Days. And you can check out the video. And, if you like what you see, give it a like, give it
Give
a
it a
comment.
like.
And
Yeah, for sure.
but I'm tremendously happy with it. And I think there'll be more. You'll hear more about 29 Days. And it's
Cool.
actually about mental health. People have asked me, what's it about?
Oh,
It's
good.
about mental health because 29, there's a bill in Canada, Bill 29, that's in reference to mental health. So
Okay.
the video is about a breakup, but it's about the mental health that comes with people breaking up with each other. Sometimes it's tragic, suicidal. So I wrote something in that
Hmm.
vein. That's really what the song
Mm,
is about.
that's nice. That's a nice message. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today, Anthony. I truly appreciate it. I definitely hope you get to the 1 million views. So I will link all of your information in the caption here and make sure to check Anthony out and give him a like and a follow. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Mandy. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.